Howdy, y'all. Here we are back at it again, except this is going to be a little different video. This is not on this field cultivator. What it is kind of an everyday life type thing I got going on. The pigs are out of feed, so I thought I would I guess show you what I do with feed and how. I went ahead and made a list so everybody could see, or I could read it off so I don't seem too retarded. This here is a mineral, and it's called EV Grow 50 Shield, and it's mineral. It has all kinds of different minerals in it, and that's a 50-pound bag, and that 50-pound bag goes for a ton of feed. So it's for 2,000 pounds of feed. And what I do is I put in 50 pounds of corn, and then I have soybean meal, alfalfa, that mineral, and diametric earth or diamastic earth or something like that. And I also put in molasses. So I'll show you what I do as I go. Let me grab a couple buckets because I have to go get the soybean meal. And the alfalfa. Now I have all these blue barrels. That's what holds my proteins. Now this bucket, I've got it measured out to where it holds 6 1/4 pounds. So I just scoop it up, and what I don't scoop up, I fill up with this can. There, that looks about right. Here's the bucket. See how it's flat? And then I got alfalfa pellets. I don't have a canister here, so to do this a little different. See? Pretty much level. You know? I put it in a bucket. All right, now with this, let's see, I got my mix thingy here. I don't know, let me try so I can see the back screen, so I can see. It'll be 50 pounds corn, it's 6 1/4 soybean meal, 6 1/4 alfalfa meal, roughly 12 ounces of mineral. That's this here glass right here. And then I put this much of that, well, full can. This kind of dipped down a little bit of that diametric earth or whatever. You don't want to breathe this stuff, so they say. So, but I couldn't tell you if this is enough. I just use it to, obviously, a Demonte pasta can. It's like, it says 24 ounces. That's just how much I put in there. I think it says on a bag what you can actually put in, but that's just what I put in there. This is for worms, parasites. And when I make up the pig feed, I make up 200 and some odd pounds. But, oh, sounds like a pig just hit the hot wire. But this equals out to like roughly 14.49% protein. That's not too bad on pigs. Now, from my understanding, is a boy pig, or a boar, or a barrel, depending, I guess. But they can't handle really this much. They'll waste protein on this. They don't metabolize the protein the same as a girl will, or a sow, or a gilt, or however you want to call them. The girl pigs you can push them with a little bit hotter feed. So you could use 16% feed on them, and they will metabolize it better, and you don't waste as much protein. But since I have a boy, or a boar, and a sow, and then the other pigs, see, roughly, since they're finished out, I'm just kind of maintaining them right now because I need to do some butchering. But that's why they're just getting this. They're basically, that's 15%. I'll let him waste what he wastes, and I'm in on the protein. The girls are quite healthy. They're all healthy. But when I go to feeding them out, they start in different stages. Like when they're babies or just getting weaned off the mom, I feed them oatmeal and soybean meal and minerals, of course, and some molasses and so forth. But I roughly get them around 20, let's say 20 to 25%. I don't know. I have to look at my book to see exactly what I do. And then after they hit a certain weight, I start knocking them back down, and eventually they just fall onto this. And how I feed them is I turn around and give them X amount, and I watch their weight. Now it's like second nature to me how much to actually give them. I give each, I'll show you here in a minute, but I give each pig one of these, 2 of these a day. Each of the pigs I have out there basically eats 50 pounds a day at this moment. Or not a day, a week, 50 pounds a week. So every day I'm getting more money into some pig meat, but as you can see, I know what the heck's going in them. This is all pretty good food, in my opinion. The mineral, I don't necessarily maybe have to give them quite as much because I just started adding, well, when I say just started, the past 6 months, I expect, or maybe a little better. I've been giving them alfalfa because my brain got to thinking, and I thought, hey, you know, when I let them out into the yard and so forth, they love to eat the weeds, so why not give them weeds or alfalfa nonstop? Plus, it's real high in protein. It's like 17% protein. And this is kind of what I got figured out, is what it costs. Right now, corn, after the pandemic, everything's after the pandemic, it's went stupid crazy. Corn's cost me $6.82 a bag. The soybean, as it right there, is cost me $1.87, and the alfalfa's cost me $2.12. I figured out the molasses. The molasses I buy in 5-gallon pails, and it cost me $9. So it's 50 pounds of molasses for like $9, and it roughly figures out to 67 cents. And I didn't figure out the dinosaur earth mineral stuff, or the mineral. The mineral, it's went up too. I think the last time I bought it was 30 some odd dollars, like 32-ish, maybe 35-ish, for the 50-pound bag. It's went up quite a little bit since the pandemic. Everything has, but like the corns went up. Oh gosh, it was, $4, and the bean meal was 10, and now it's $15 a bag. But now how I figured this out is corn, they say, is I'm figuring at 7% protein, and the soybean, I believe they said that was 40. It's 40-some%. And the alfalfa is like 17%. This mineral has some in it too, a percentage. It's like 11%. But when you take 50-pound bag and dilute it between 2,000 pounds, I'm not even figuring that into it. But how you do that, if anybody's wondering how you do that, is 7% is always off 100 pounds. So when a bag says that it's let's say like the alfalfa, I know that's 17 because it says 17% on the bag. So the alfalfa is 17%. It comes in a 50-pound bag. So it's 17% off of 100 pounds. So when you would make your feed, you have to figure it as 100 pounds. So like this here corn's only in 50-pound bags. So let's figure it as 7% protein. Well, in 50 pounds, that's only 3.5, and so forth. Now the alfalfa, you're going down to 6.25 pounds. This, like I said, is still kind of high, but works well. So you have to figure out what your pound, how you get that down to 100 pounds. So this is how it figures out on it. Like I said, you take your 47 or 43, your 17% is in 100 pounds. So if you have 100 pounds, that's 43%. So if you figured out your corn and you said 7% on your corn, the alfalfa, this would be 6. You just have to do your own math. I'm not going to do the math for you. You know, everybody's smart enough that's watching this. And if not, there's the mixture for a 50-pound bag that gives you it equals out to 14.49%. Not counting this mineral, which maybe might take that up to 50. This is roughly $13-ish, you know, for that. You know, I don't know. Everybody would be different, depends on where you live, but there is what I do. The mineral, I put in 12 ounces. They call for mineral being 20, but I just put in 12 because I also put in alfalfa. I didn't do any kind of calculations here, just deleted some of it. So this isn't perfect, you know, here at all, because I'm not quite sure what the mineral count in alfalfa is. I just know it's really high, and I probably don't even need the mineral, but I'm going to keep it in there. I just cut it down basically in half because it calls for 20 ounces in a 50-pound bag. So if you just do the corn and soybean meal, you'd need 20 ounces of mineral. You don't need the dimetasic, I don't know how you say that, earth. You don't need that. I just do it for parasites. Like I said, they eat a bag per week per pig. So I mix, and on the molasses, I do 24 ounces. I just do that one's not a ketchup bottle. That's actually a pancake mix bottle. But I do a pancake mix bottle. When I add the earth, because I'm going to mix up one bag here. And I should just do that. And then that way, what I use is a cement mixer. So I'll show you how I do it. Now, just so you know, the molasses, I use, I think that's 24 ounces. Now, I only use 24 ounces on the molasses when I don't add the diametic, this earth stuff. What I do is I put in, you'll see. Some of this I use 2 molasses, and some of them I use 1 molasses. I didn't figure out the price on it, except for 67 cents. I think I figured out at 2 molasses. So this is on the heavy end on the price, but you know, most people wouldn't maybe add that. One other thing I'll make a note for everybody out there. Your sows, if this is real light on the molasses, this isn't very much molasses at all. Reason I use the molasses is to, one, this stuff is, you shouldn't breathe this. So if I can't breathe this, the pigs shouldn't breathe this either. I add all this to chicken feed, everybody. Well, except me. Some of this I'll eat. This is really good. This stuff tastes awful. But maybe it'd be good if you sprinkle it on food, I guess. But I don't want this stuff floating around. So since this is going to be the first one I make, you'll see what I do. But I want these to stick to the corn. Both of these, and not get lost as much, and definitely take the dust down. So what I'll do is, there's the list again. Here, let me make sure the screen can see it. Hopefully everybody can read that. I can't tell, but just so everybody can know, it's 50 pounds of corn, 6 1/4 soybean meal, 6 1/4 pound alfalfa. If you don't use the alfalfa, it's 20 ounces of mineral. But what I use, you'd have to figure all this stuff out yourself. This is just what I do. So if you can find that Grow 50 or whatever, it's 20 ounces per 50 pounds. So you don't have to do any math if you do this, if you're okay with the 15% or whatever you want to call it, 14.5%. And I suppose you don't have to do the molasses. That's just, See, my hairbrain gets ahead of. I was talking about the molasses not being very much. On sows, you have to be very careful with the molasses, okay? If you have a sow that is, you're going to breed, this is plenty for the molasses. It won't harm her, or any sow. But molasses can harm the sow's ability to, she might want to abort her babies. So when it comes to the molasses, on any of them, I suppose you could use gallons of molasses. But it has a protein and stuff too that I don't calculate into this, because I don't even do that much, just enough to make things stick and keep the dust down. But you just can't give, that's a safe quantity there. Whereas, a gallon would be fine if she wasn't pregnant or isn't going to be pregnant or so forth. But if she gets pregnant, you feed too much molasses, it'll kill the babies. So you have to be very careful there. Oh, and another thing on the molasses is I put in apple cider vinegar. I put a gallon of apple cider vinegar in with a 5-gallon pail of molasses. I have to go get molasses again here pretty soon. I'm getting a little low. It's down here somewhere. I know it looks to be there, but it's not quite there. It was up to here, but that's what I do. I put 1 gallon of apple cider vinegar. It helps even you as a people. We drink apple cider vinegar all the time. What it does is your cells in your body, absorbs water. And as the apple cider vinegar helps it, helps your cells. It really helps your cells a lot. And by God, I tell you, pork tastes like pork, I guess, but man, these things taste amazing. I think they taste amazing. But that's what I feed. Some people might not like it because there's soybean meal in it. You got your health nuts out there that say, icky, but I don't find it bad, and it's a cheap protein. You could use wheat. I've debated on wheat, but I don't have a grinder. And that's another thing. I just use cracked corn. One thing that sucks about the cracked corn is you'll get whole kernels of corn that passes right through a pig's, just like you. You eat that and swallow that whole. I'm sure everybody that's eating corn knows exactly what happens. Same thing with the pigs. But the chickens go out there and they'll eat that. And I know I could use a ground corn, but this corn, I also put in a bucket. I put a couple, 2-3 days worth in a bucket and then top it off with water. So by the time the pigs eat this, see, it's coming up spring, so now this will work great, but when it comes up spring, this will even be, if they happen to chew it, it'll get chewed. But if they don't, they digest it quite well. But you could use ground corn. Some people would call what I do slop, which I believe slop is a fermented stuff, and this is never fermented. It's just long enough to get soaked up with water. Makes it a little bit, I wouldn't even call it more palatable. They eat it no matter what. Their waste is, I'll call it really clean. Only thing you notice in their waste is these big pieces. And like I said, the chickens go out there and tear it up. So that's just it. I'm going to show you how I do it. And sorry for a little bit of the noise. Take my molasses. See all the dust coming off? I squirt in the whole thing. Try to be careful not to get it on the pieces. I'll come over here and fill my molasses back up, and that gives that long enough to get coated. Now, like I said, on just the mineral, I only do one of these. But when I add that other earth stuff, it really is really super dusty. to just go until it starts dripping. That way I'm not wasting as much. I mean, you could look at my can. That's like 2 years or better of crap. Oh. And you see that's all fairly mixed up. I'll do is give it another squirt. No more dust coming off of it, as you see. Set this there. Grab my mineral. Go in my mineral. And then my earth. Be real careful with this, folks. Then I turn around and dump in my soybean meal. And dump in my alfalfa. Let it mix for a little bit. This is so one thing about the mixer is that I'll also tell you about is the alfalfa and the corn don't weigh the same, even with the soybean meal. See how I can dig in the back and there's more soybean meal. So I don't let it mix forever, because it'll settle everything. So I just pull it out like so. Reach in the very back of my mixer and see how I'm kind of reaching back here and pulling it up there. Put in. If I get too much up here, I'll push the green back. As you can see, it's not mixed up too shabby. And I thought about making a new mixer. This is, as you can tell, it's this concrete mixer. And as you can tell, I also use it for concrete. The mineral and stuff does build, or not mineral, but molasses and dust and so forth will build up on it. But I just take it outside when I know I'm going to use it for concrete and tip it up, fill it full of water, and then the next morning go out there and throw a bucket full of yard rock or driveway rock in it, turn it on like this, and it's cleaned up and just lickety split. It takes like no time. But there you go, folks. This is my pig feed. As you can tell, it doesn't look too shabby. There's plenty of nice green. They love it. They love this stuff. The double thing of molasses. The next one will be a single, because I'll only be putting the mineral in it. So that way, 1 week the pigs are eating wormer that's healthy. I mean, we can eat it, and it doesn't harm them at all. And the next week there's no wormer. Every other week they're getting wormed, because that's just the way I do it. Every other week they're getting wormed nonstop. It's been that way. Butch, the boar, he's, I don't know how old he is now, 3 maybe. Cassie, the sow, she's 6 months younger, or yeah, I think maybe 6 months younger than him. And that's just it, folks. That's what they eat. I don't feed them. Of course, they're my breeders, so I can't just let them eat as much as they want, because they'd get put on too much weight and then they wouldn't be healthy enough. They both carry some fat, which is good. When Cassie gets pregnant, I, of course, feed her a little better. And as she carries on with her pregnancy, I feed her better. But I dump all this feed into, I'll show you here in a little bit, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut the camera off, and I'll show you what I do a little later, but I'm going to have my wife help me dump this into the bag, and we'll load it up into this cart. You know, it's 200, and you figure the math and you figure out what it weighs. I'm not carrying it clear out there. I'm a lazy bum. So that's what I'm going to do. Put it in bags, have her help. She definitely doesn't want to be here while this is on, and then I'll show you the rest out there. Okay, folks. Okay, guys. I'm back at I got all the feed mixed. And like I said, everything goes in 55-gallon drums. And now I'm going to show you what I do. See, there's all the little pigs there. Is each one of them get 2 scoops. And there's 6 of them out here. 6. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's a morning meal. I don't know if I got enough room in there to hold 2, so I'll go ahead and do what I do. Okay, that goes in that bucket. And you don't have to, I guess I don't have to do this way, but that looks about like it was. I'm gonna try to get 3 of them in here. I try to only get, I gotta get I can't find the other bucket right now. Like I said, just turning spring. So I gotta get my other cup out here. I don't use that cup because this is where it starts getting messy. And this is the, here, I'm gonna move this up just a little bit more. Get it up more on the flat. But here's what happens here. I turn around and just put water in it. Now I'm going to ask for you guys' help. I was going to ask in the very beginning, but basically I forgot about it. But I want to get 1,000 subscribers, folks. But that's like a huge goal. I don't know if it's possible. I mean, everything's possible, but what I'm hoping is if anybody's watching this video, I'd like to get to 30 subscribers. That's what I'd like to do. And if I hit 30 subscribers, then I'm going to try to put a video out on butchering these guys. Well, not all of them, but I'm going to keep one of them. But other than that, they're all going to get butchered. Well, that's our sow, Cassie. You've seen her at the very beginning. There's our boar, Butch. They're not bad pigs. They don't seem to be bad pigs, are you guys? Are you guys? They're not bad. They're all pretty decent pigs. All friendly. Well, except the black ones. They're not as friendly. Of course, you know, their food. One of them I'm keeping just to hold back, breed back. But I couldn't tell you what these pigs are. When I first got them, I was telling a guy that I was going to get some pigs. This wasn't the pigs I was going to get at all. But he had Butch over there. He had Butch and another pig, and he just showed up at my house and said, "You wanted a pig, here's your pig." And Butch was, about yay big. I don't know how many, little guy. And he said he was a pot-belly pig, and he could be. He's a couple 100 pounds now, I know for sure. And then it was about 6 months later, he turned around and was talking to me, and I said, "Yeah, now I'm gonna still the same thing, you know, I wanted to raise some pigs." And he showed up with Cassie, and she was even littler. That poor little girl, when I got her, she had, I don't know what you call it. I'll call it scabies. I don't know what it was called. She had scabies. She was like this big. She was so tiny. I think she just was ripped off a tit and should have stayed on it for, I mean, good God, we fed her, I bet it was a month of babying the crap out of her. And I couldn't do anything about the scabies for a while, or the little rash-like bug. But when she got a little bigger, I was able to get this dip junk and, you know, took care of her. I couldn't tell you how much she weighs now at all. And I couldn't tell you how much these guys weigh at all either. But I can tell you that at, what was it, 6 months? At 6 months, their brothers weighed 100, well, the smallest brother was like 95, and the biggest brother was like 110, right around in there. And I turned around and I butchered all the boys, and the girls I haven't butchered yet, because the boys filled my cooler up. Now, that wasn't the plan on how to do this. you know, I'm kind of glad that I believe in the Lord, because what happened is this guy brought me Cassie and Butch, and they're plenty big for my family. I mean, look, I have pig for I got pig coming out my bung. But the funny thing is these girls, they were spoken for. You know, you got people that said, I mean, I had what my family was going to eat, and then these guys, and or the 4 pigs, and every time I told them, hey, the pigs are ready, I mean, this is how big they were at well, it might have been 8 months, roughly, but they haven't really grown any much more, and I know they're 150 pounds probably at least. They're pretty solid animals. They might be even closer to 200. I don't know. All I can tell you is when I started butchering the boys, they were, 100 pounds, and that is all I guess they're a little bit bigger maybe, but not much. And but that's what I got. So the plan was this next time, let's say, I think I'm going to breed them next January-ish. I'll breed Cassie or I don't know, I think it's that one right there, one of the two. But the plan is going to be the same plan as I had with the last one. Well, butcher 2 of the boys, and they're about 20 pounds, and maybe a little bit more. But next time, that just because I got busy and I couldn't do it right off. But my plan is next time I had baby, she had 9 of them. She had 9 and kept 9, or sorry, she had 10 and 1 died. I don't know, it got laid on or something. And but whatever, she kept all the others. It was a good deal. But they all stayed healthy. They've been good the whole time. But the reason I say this, because let's say this is a potbelly pig, let's say. You can see the meat I've got here, and they're a year old now, a little over a year. But the plan next is when I wean the pigs, they're probably yay big. They're probably, I don't know how big they are, how much they weigh. I'd have to look at my book. They're yay big, and I'm going to butcher 2 of them right after weaning, and then probably there again at another 10 pounds, maybe 20 pounds. I don't know how big, and use them as whole pigs. And then, of course, like these, when I go to butchering these, I'm not gonna get real fancy. I'm gonna take some roast out of them, take the loin out of them, take some ribs out of them, and the rest gets ground into pork. Ground pork, I love ground pork. But that's the deal. Now, if I can get up to 30 subscribers, you're gonna get to see, I believe it's that one right there, behind there, that gets gone first. But it's that one, and that one. She's staying. And that's how it is. So if you could please help me get up to 30 subscribers, that'd be awesome. The goal's 1,000, because then magic happens at 1,000. But I'm glad you guys are watching this. Hopefully this is educational on the pig feed. The pig feed will work on every pig that's out there. Oh, and I wanted to tell you, their feed, I'd have to look the book, but their feed ratio is, like I said, they're a normal pig probably goes to market at 200 pounds, and they're definitely going to be a little bigger than these guys. Not much, but they'll definitely be a little bigger than these guys. But the weight ratio that went into them, they're the same as a normal pig. So I mean, if these are a potbelly pig, and they're not a lot of fat either. Of course, you can tell they're fairly lean. I don't overfeed them because I don't want to pack a bunch of fat on them. I don't want to waste a bunch of fat. Don't need it. But anybody that has a small family, like I said, she'll go through, I'm kind of fibbing, but basically a 50-pound bag of feed a month. It's not quite. She goes through a little less. When it's just her and Butch, they go through a little less, 50 pounds less, maybe not quite a week, but let's say a month and a week. So 30, what I'm saying is 30 to 40 days. A bag of feed will last 30 to 40 days. Winter's a little different. I feed them a little heavier in the winter than in the summer. But there you go. So anybody that's got a small family, I mean, good God, I'm telling you, this, you know, like I said, these are probably about a year old now, but they've been the same size for, well, a little over a year. But basically at 8 months, they were what you see now, and they're, you know, I don't know how, I can't remember what we got out of meat out of them. I mean, it was like, good God, it's pushing 80 pounds a piece, and I know that's solid meat, no bone, any of that. I bone everything. So I mean, if I was to add the bone in there, you know, the weight would gain right up. But I don't have a saw like that. I don't need to saw like that. I don't really care if I eat off the bone or not. Meat's meat. And but there you go, folks. There's the corn that they'll be getting fed tomorrow, and so forth. By tomorrow morning, all this will be, it'll be all soaked up, and they love it. And it's, like I said, you look back and there's 15%. Yeah, it's pretty darn good food. But there you go. Hope you like the feed mixing. I hope that was educational for somebody out there. Say this is really good. If you happen to have any other kind of grain, it's great. I've debated on going to wheat, because wheat right now is not much that different. It's a little bit more money, but not that much different than corn. But I don't have a grinder. I think it'd pass through them too fast. But yeah, it's good stuff. Know what's in them. They're healthy, as you can see. Everything's good. So yeah, thanks for helping me out. Thanks for helping me hopefully get into the 30 subscribers, and hopefully we can hit the 1,000s, what we're really trying to go for at this moment. But help me get to the 30 and we can get out a butchering video. But thanks, folks. Have a great time, and love y'all, and God bless, and see you on the flip side. Thank you. Oh, one other thing I forgot to tell you. I get on my grain at an elevator. That's where I get my grain. It's a little ways away from my house, but that's where I get my grain. It's at an elevator. It's cheaper than going to, let's say, a farm store and so forth, and just thought I better add that in there.